Hi there, Mark Major here at the Action Figuratorium. That's the studio right behind me. And today I'm going to be asking a simple question. Are we paying too much for toys today? I mean, sort of the adult collector, but really sort of everyone. Is everyone just paying too much for toys? And I guess the answer is, it depends. Well, I thought we would maybe look through some of my handheld footage I've taken inside the local Goodwill near my house, where a glut of toys end up as a result of them not selling at retail, being removed when a new wave comes in, and then some type of a jobber finding a spot for them, a flea market, a thrift store, things like that. That's all coming up today on the Action Figuratorium, so stick around. So there's a lot of reasons why you would ask the question, are we paying too much for toys? And for me, it's the fact that I see so much product out there. There's so much supply. There's so much to choose from, right? They're all competing for the dollar, right? Every toy out there is like, hey, buy me, buy me, buy me. And there's so many of them that I don't know that we can even buy all the toys out. I don't know if there's enough money in the economy to actually purchase all these products at the retail price that they're asking for them. And so I think that's a reason why at some point they just end up shoveling these toys out. So let me cue up a video here, and I'm going to see if I can pause it at spots and talk about what we're seeing. But I just want to clue everybody who's on the globe right now in on this sort of non-stop supply of plastic and cardboard packaging that they've been foisting on the public. So let's check this out. All right, so here is a toy shelf in the back of the Goodwill. Now these are not, this is not Big Lots, this is not Ollies, this isn't a Ross, this is anything like that. This is Goodwill, this is a secondhand store. Most everything here is by donation. I don't know that they buy anything wholesale. I know that there's always things like snacks and batteries and socks and stuff like that up front, but I get the feeling that they don't really pay for those. I think that stuff is donated to them and some corporation gets a tax write-off. I should really do my own sort of investigative journalism on this and really crack open the where does it come from on these secondhand stores. But as you can see here, there's a whole bunch of unsold retail toys that made it to the spot, and they put a lot of these out at this time of year for Christmas shoppers, believe it or not. It doesn't look like this 24/7. There are periods which is like nothing on the shelves. But here we go, and you can see, oh yeah, look at all these Masters of the Universe revelations. I have seen so many of these things at this Goodwill. They come in waves, and resellers come in, they see them, and they go, oh geez, mother load. And I saw a woman loading up a cart with Funko Pops of the one of Spock and Kirk touching hands, and I was like, don't get those. You're gonna be strapping those to your feet in the winter and using them as snowshoes. That's the only purpose for those. Don't put those back. You're never gonna resell them and get any money. They're gonna have to go into a vault for so long that you're going to forget you own those. But maybe you buy them for your kids to resell. I don't think they're going to happen, because I think there's going to be a lot of people out there in 40 years who all of a sudden they're like, look at all these Funko Pops, and they're not going to be exciting then. They're not exciting now. Look at all these Masters of the Universe, though. Look at all this stuff. And sometimes these guys are that's a little salvage tag from the jobber company. Sometimes they're $9.99 and sometimes they'll just be $4.99. There's one episode I did where I picked up a Power Rangers pink ninja, and there was two of them there, and one said $14.99, the other one said $5, and I was like, well, what would you do? So here we are, and then look at all these Funko Pops. We got all these Batman. There's some Barbies, new in package. No one bought kayaking Barbie. Look at this. These things are these Venom Thor metal ornaments. I think they're supposed to be like a necklace. They come in a pack about this big. This is the second time that there's been this well of these. I think that they want $10 each. At first I thought it said 99 cents. I'm like, nah. $9.99 for those? I don't know. So, so that's the first round of these videos. Let me queue up another one, guys. Stay with me. I'm getting this latest version of OBS under my command, and that's where you get to see things like lower thirds that just appear. Who would have thought that you could get that far on someone else's free code? Okay, what's the next vid that we got? Let's see if we can make this one play. All right, so all these Funko Pop Batman cars, look at how many of these things. This is at a Goodwill, right? There's usually like stuff that didn't sell at garage sales here. There's like tons of like kids' toy horses and just mangled Barbies. Their hair is all like clipped and like different colors, and they're wearing weird outfits and different outfits, and sometimes there's scores in there. I find a whole bunch of cool stuff. I found this Cher doll, this Mego Cher doll, and she had a really, really cool dragon dress on, and I got it, and it was $3. I took the dress, I put it on one of my Psy Girls, which, by the way, you guys need to get back in the Psy Girls. And then I just sold the doll, and I think I made money on the whole thing. But look at all these guys. Look at all this. Look at all those Nerf guns. This is rows and rows of Nerf guns. And that stuff's gone in, you know, in like a week or so. That stuff will just, in fact, one day, there was, it was on the same day, there was a stack of 10 of those, it's a mini mart playset. Now, I'd actually bought one, and I did a video on it. They're really cool if you're into 4-inch figures and you need some kind of new interesting sets. If you buy one of those 5 surprise playsets, they give you just enough stuff in it to where, you know, because they want you to buy multiples and hook them up together. It's kind of like, you know, Star Wars Vintage Collection, that in Bespin City. They're like, oh yeah, just keep buying more. They want you to make this supermarket by buying these little mini marts, and I would do it anyways. There was piles of those for $10 each, and I should have bought all of them, but you know, you walk in there and you smoked a doobie in the morning, and you know, you've had like a molasses cookie, and you're like, I don't know what I'm looking at, and so I missed out on this stuff. Okay, I think I got one more vid that we can roll on here, and see that there's oh, is this the same one? Hold on, people. All right, look at these guys. Look at all these like unsold Motu horses. Man, one day there was like the entire shelves were that Panther reissue kind of thing that they did. I remember the original one was flocked, and these guys weren't flocked. And I was like, what if I bought one and flocked it and sold it as a custom flockathon? I don't know. It sounds cool to me, but I mean, I could see you guys not being down with flocking. All right, so in a nutshell, it feels to me that that the toy industry is overproducing, that there's too many choices out there, there's too many lines, everybody kind of wants to do too similar of things. The last video I dropped in the Toy Talk category, I was looking at some of these Kickstarters, and I thought the stuff, of course, looked cool, but it just reminded me of everything else. You know, it was like it was monsters, but they just looked like acid rain guys. And then it was like orcs in space, but they just looked like commandos with orcs heads, you know? And it wasn't that they weren't well done. You know, it wasn't that they looked crappy. In fact, they looked great, but it looked like they were too late, not different enough, not enough weight behind them, not enough story, not enough character. And remember, like the Mythic Legions lines isn't based on a video game. They based a video game on the action figures, right? They didn't base the action figures off of comic books or a story. They just came up with these characters, but they did such a great job of making the characters that you make your own story up when you see it. Whereas some of these other guys, you know, you look at them and you're like, I don't know, did this guy fall off the Leonard Chapman boat or something? Like, who is this guy? It's just like, you know, futuristic SWAT soldier number 2, you know, and like he's got cool, weird, like sci-fi military fantasy guns. And so it's not enough anymore. There's too much supply. There's too many options. People asking too much money at this point that people just don't have, and they're clearly not buying Funko Pops at the rate at which Funko would like to see them. So I don't know if this has done anything other than I would love to launch a conversation and a discussion. I'm not really saying anything myself because everything is case by case. However, I would like to go back to, no, not this, although we want this. So here's a comment somebody made on one of my videos regarding where I said I wasn't really into buying the Odd Frog 1/12 scale Dodge Charger at $185. I just think it's just another car, and just another car doesn't excite me for $185 no matter what you do. And this guy says, this is Mark 1130, I mean, no disrespect, but this is what drives prices for future releases. He's talking about guys charging $185, thinking that they're coming in under the Marvel guys who are charging $350, and definitely under that cat Ramen Toys who claimed he was going to come out with his charger called the Halloween Charger for $250. And goes on to say, when companies start seeing these scaled vehicles selling for $150, $200, $250, $300, they all will. Meaning, once you open the gates and say, look, people are willing to pay $350 for, you know, this Marvel Legends bottle of water with lemon in it, then everyone's going to do it. And, you know, I'm not saying that, that people don't have the right to make money. And if you're an artisan crafter or somebody who makes something very sort of skilled and specific, you definitely have a right to get everything that it's worth and that your talent is worth. But with so many of these existing companies and the new amateur Kickstarter companies coming online, it's going to be really tough for anybody to kind of survive this. So with that, I bid everyone adieu, and I will catch you guys in the next one.